Everton at home to Arsenal. Take a look at the betting that we currently have at matchbook.com. And look, Everton are a big price, 9.2. Arsenal, that shocked me when I looked earlier this morning as well, Adrian. Arsenal 1.46. The draw is available at 4.7. Both teams to score no is favoured a good bit here at 1.81 in around 5 to 6 in all money terms. Asian handicap line sees Everton get 1.25 goal head start at 1.93, and the total is 2.5. Miguel, I really want to focus on Sean Dyche. I saw a great video of his what seemed to be his first day of training in Everton. And he had them doing the bleep test, which was the one revelation. The next one is Godfrey actually won it, despite the fact he's hardly been playing at all. So I think that kind of shows a lot about A, the manager, and B, maybe some of the players.
Can I just say very, very quickly, how to sort of annoy your players on day one. It's like a lot of managers would go in and think, I'll try and get the lads on side. You get the old bleep tests out. Oh goodness, they must have been loving him. But look, they're in a mire. There's no time to waste, is there? I suppose he wanted to be brutal and assess their fitness levels before he got to work. But that's not what the players would have wanted. But over to you, Mick. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is a fascinating game from that perspective. Well, I mean, look, a week ago, I would have said it's not a fascinating game at all because Arsenal will probably destroy Everton. I do think Arsenal will win, but I think because it's that first game, because we know how Dyche works, and I think I should say, I like this. There was a lot of debate about this, especially in how it summed up how lacking in direction Everton are, that you can so easily go from Bielsa, who's such a distinctive style of manager and responsible for a whole school of playing, to Dyche, who is totally different in his own right. And most modern clubs just aren't run like that. They have a managerial profile and they go for that. You look Brighton now, say. But from that perspective, I actually think there was a logic from in the sense that Everton would have preferred to hire towards the long term, but they have such a short term necessity because really, they even beyond the usuals about going down and everything that means, it would mean even more for Everton, and not just because of the historical record of having never been relegated to the Premier League or haven't been in the top division for so many decades, but more so because of the financial pressure of the club, given there's a new stadium, given the amount of debt, given they don't have that many sellable assets in terms of players. So there's a real necessity for them to stay up this season. And it does feel like Dyche could be in that kind of, just because of the way he organises the defence, he could be in that kind of survival specialist mould, like Allardyce, who was also considered. And while I think a week is probably not enough to get this team sufficiently drilled against this Arsenal, I think it could be one of those games where they make it very difficult, where there's kind of encouragement for Everton, but Arsenal probably just have enough quality. They go, go for really hone it down in terms of kind of specific bets. 83rd minute winner for Arsenal, something like that. But to play a little bit safer, I'd say Arsenal and under 3.5.
Yeah, which is 2.2 currently. And Adrian, look, I'm for what it's worth, I'm on Miguel's line of thinking in terms of, I think Arsenal, even despite how the stats will back up how fast starters they are, like Everton, it'll be rockets, particularly if the ownership don't turn up, so they can fully focus on backing Sean Dyche. I'm going on long-winded here to say you're backing Arsenal half-time and full-time, so you are confident going into this game, I guess, that they will take care of business early.
I'm still reeling from Miguel saying Big Sam was considered for the Everton job. I mean, is that true? I mean,
well, his name was brought up. Yeah.
I can't believe that. But anyway, look, I think that tells you what you need to know about what's going on at boardroom level there. Poor. It's a good shout from Miguel. I think Arsenal and unders is a decent goal. I think I found another angle that works really well. Arsenal to be leading at half-time and to go on and win the game. Arsenal are the best first half team in the Premier League, have led in 11 of 19. Away from home, this is a great stat. Away from home this season, Arsenal's first half goal difference is scored 11, conceded 1. One first half goal against on the road this season. It's incredible. It really is. It was Anthony, of course, at Old Trafford that scored that goal. Yes. So they start games properly and they get on the front foot. They often get their nose in front, and that's been the bedrock really of Arsenal's season so far. obviously the new manager bounce. I mean, judging by the prices, Matchbook and the punters aren't buying into the new manager bounce too much here. Everton are huge, aren't they, at home? Was it 9.2? But they do have the second worst home record, 8 points from a possible 30 at Goodison this season. They've only won 3 of 20 matches overall. They are in a state, and you would imagine if Arsenal's attitude is okay, why wouldn't it be? Then they should sweep Everton aside. That's my view. I'm pretty confident on this one. I know it's an awkward game on paper. I know Arsenal have slipped up at Everton in recent seasons, but they're not in a good place at the moment, the Toffees, and this test might be too much for them. So I think Arsenal to lead at half time and then carry on and win the game.
Yeah. Mark, over to you. If I said I would be leaning towards Miguel, I'm probably leaning towards your bet here, Mark, which is no bet, just given the unknown factor with Sean Dyche.
Yeah, as Miguel said, it's a long time in football, just a week. If we were talking last Thursday, I think we'd all be all on board Arsenal to have a walkover win here. But the goalposts have changed with Lampard's sacking and Dyche's appointment. I think Dyche was the sensible option at this stage of the season. I think he is quite suited to the task, and I think he's got players at his disposal who he can mould to his type. I know he doesn't want to be sort of pigeonholed as this kind of long ball, ugly defensive football manager as he was at Burnley. But that's the hand he's been dealt, and he's going to have to deal something similar here with Everton. But I do think he's got players who can play to that style. You know, Cody and Tarkowski at centre half, Pickford, McNeil's there still, Calvert-Lewin, a revived Iwobi. They're lacking standout quality, but I do think there's a certain ability there to play and slot into a Dyche style setup, similar to what we saw at Burnley. So I'm not saying this is a banana skin for Arsenal at all. They should easily win this game with flying colours, as they have done in 16 of their 19 Premier League games so far. But I do think Dyche and Everton are going to try and turn this into an absolute dog of a game. I think we're going to see spoiling tactics from the off, a real hunger, desire, motivation to get in Arsenal's faces and make life really difficult. And I do think we'll see a reaction from the Goodison Park crowd as well. And we saw at the back end of last season that can have a positive impact on the team. So if all those factors come together, it's not the biggest shock in the world if Everton got something out of this game. But I like to sort of leave a game when a new manager comes in. Guys have mentioned the new manager bounce, especially so when I think there is a huge jump up in ability between the predecessor and the current boss, as we have here with Lampard and Dyche. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but I think his body of work, not just at Burnley, but also at Watford, stands up a lot stronger than anything Lampard's achieved. So I do expect an improvement from Everton in the coming week.